Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Mike. You already know what is up and what is good. And the Indiana Pacers have assembled quite a sleeper squad this offseason by adding pieces like Toppin and Bruce Brown. Those additions will be key into expanding their defensive potential like we've seen previous Pacers teams be. Tyrese Haliburton definitely can't go unmentioned here. With players loving to be around him, his energy, and playing with him knowing they'll get touches and opportunities to score, locking up Haliburton for another 5 years was also crucial for not only getting their franchise player, but also letting other players know this will be the cornerstone for us and you guys as well. Tyrese Haliburton is slowly becoming one of those guys people want to play with. So let's break down this team. Now I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been able to catch much of the preseason games this year because of work, but I did watch highlights and observing people's comments and reactions on the Pacers social media saying things like, this team is different, this team has an energy, and while watching those highlights against the Hawks and the Cavs where the Pacers made their starting five debut, for what it's worth, you could definitely see that this team has a lot of potential. Haliburton being at the forefront creates a seamless energy and chemistry that seeps into every player on the floor. Having guys that genuinely want to play for each other rather than just with each other creates a dynamic where every player wants to get involved in the playmaking, the defense, the hustle, and especially the playmaking. I remember last year watching the Pacers play, and there'd be times where Haliburton wouldn't even be on the floor, and guys would be making these passes and plays that I've never even seen them attempt to make before. It's that willingness to pass, whether that's an extra swing pass, a pass that a player wasn't too comfortable making before. It's things like that that Haliburton brings to a team. He spreads that energy every time he hits the floor. Turner is beyond significant to the Pacers defense. People wonder why when he gets injured, the defense plummets. They start to lose more games. Opposing teams expose the paint when he's not on the floor. So imagine when he's not even active playing and injured for say like 2 months. I understand there's a pool of fans who may not be a Myles Turner fan, if you will, but you cannot sit there and tell me he is not a big part of the Pacers defense. There's been years like 2 or 3 where Myles should have won Defensive Player of the Year. One year specifically he should have won, but it was the year Rudy Gobert won it instead. But Myles Turner quietly had one of, if not his best seasons last year, averaging 18 points, 18 rebounds, 2.3 blocks, and shooting 37.3% from 3. There was a recent podcast that Myles was on this year with Gilbert Arenas, and I watched the whole thing. Myles stated himself how, when he's at his natural position at the 5, he operates so much more freely when he's not sharing the floor with another big. That's why Myles had his best season last year. He was once again put in his natural position and flourished when he had that space to himself. But not only that, to be himself. You guys should really check out that podcast with Gilbert Arenas. He really goes into depth about all this stuff and playing with the Pacers. It really gives you a different perspective on his game and honestly him as a person. In previous years, it always felt like Myles would overthink what to do. Whereas especially last season, everything looked natural for him. I mean, you could see him making moves last year in the post he's never done, with confidence he's never always showed. Myles Turner is slowly evolving his game to fit him and starting to take the game slow. This will be crucial because instead of him trying to overpower guys, he can finesse them with a series of moves and his soft shooting touch. That's why guys like Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis are always so hard to stop, because they already have that arsenal to go along with incredible footwork. They also have that size where sometimes they don't even need to try and use footwork or pump fakes or fades to score down in the post. They're just bigger than you and can overpower you. This is where Myles can improve and get stronger. That's another thing as well. Since Myles is quicker than most centers, that can help in regard to trying to create rather than overpower guys in the paint. That's what makes him a great help defender and shot blocker. Let's not forget, aside from his rookie season, Myles Turner has been top 5 in blocks his entire career. And he's played 9 seasons. This is his 9th season entering this year. And when he wasn't in first, he was literally 5th. Like when he wasn't in first place, he was 5th, but he was tied in 4th. Now in the 2021 season and the season following that, he only played 47 games and then 42. But if you're that many games into the season, being more than halfway through, it stands to reason that he would remain at least in the top 3. It's no secret as to why teams rush to the phones when they hear his name in trade rumors. He's valuable in today's league as a big who can rim protect and spread the floor. I do expect him to have another outing similar to last year in terms of performance, and possibly better because of the additional pieces the Pacers added. Now keep in mind, it could also be a slight detriment to him since the Pacers added such versatile and defensive-minded guys that they could also contribute to that rebounding, to that scoring. So keeping that in the back of your mind, I do still expect him to have another great performance this season. One of the bigger but still underrated moves this offseason was Bruce Brown to the Pacers. It was kind of the first bigger moves that kickstarted the offseason, and it kind of caught a lot of people off guard, including myself. Bruce Brown adds a level of defensive prowess that the Pacers really needed on that wing position. He also brings hustle, size at his position, and wing depth like I mentioned, which I feel is important in today's game. We all know how much of an impact he had in Denver, but with a bigger role there in Indy, I think he has a chance to grow in places he couldn't always showcase being in Denver. The Pacers were 5th in pace in the 2022-23 season, and these two additions plus the growth of Mathurin, while Haliburton at the helm of those fast breaks, will not only create highlight plays like we've never seen, but will only push them to be a quicker and faster team. It's no doubt this Pacers team will be on a lot of people's watch list heading into this season. Like I said, Haliburton's playmaking and craftiness with the ball, while also being 9th in steals in the league himself, will make this team almost must-see in the fast break. Bruce Brown is one of those guys that can fit on any team, but I must admit, this was almost a perfect fit for him in a lot of avenues. Financially, role on the team for him, still being able to compete in the playoffs, and while having a good coach on a young team. I don't doubt for a second that he'll fit seamlessly on the Pacers. He never was a big scorer, and he definitely has the ability to do so. Like, he'll get you like 20, 24 points on some nights and like 8 rebounds or 7 rebounds and like, 2 or 3 assists, but his impact on games is not even seen on this stat sheet most times. Although it may be with, like I said, deflections, rebounds, steals, blocks, he carries a defensive presence on the floor now that people are gradually starting to notice and, quite honestly, respect. Indiana is the perfect place and culture for him to build that reputation and sustain it. Obi Toppin. I remember him always having a key highlight on the Pacers, and let me tell you, he's going to electrify the fans, the bench, the game even, with the culmination of alley-oops, posters, flashy dunks, acrobatic and athletic saves and hustle plays. I can't stand to counter why Pacers fans were hyped when this signing was made. This is literally what some of, if not most, Pacer fans wanted. A versatile wing that's athletic, can rebound, dunk, make highlight plays, and much like Bruce Brown, can alter the momentum of the game other than scoring. The Pacers used to be considered going in one of the top 3 to 8 defenses in the league. Now, personnel changes and coaching changes have damaged that reputation, or at least delayed it. If they weren't in the top 8 or so, they were definitely expected to be right outside the top 10 range. The Pacers found themselves at 9th in opponent turnover rate, 8th in steals, and 2nd in blocks the prior season, so hopefully with the new additions they acquired for this upcoming season, they can retain, and if not, earn back that defensive reputation. I sure hope and believe that Obi Toppin and Bruce Brown, along with the growth from other players like Aaron Nesmith, Jordan Nwora, and Ben Mathurin, and the older guys as well, and not only just the growth from those guys, but also utilizing them correctly, with everyone locked in, I can definitely see this team achieving that. People often forget the Pacers were sitting comfortably in the 3rd seed for almost a month last season. Do you guys remember that? Haliburton highlights were going crazy, Pacers were getting love, the whole thing. Then injuries hit. Turner got hurt, then Haliburton, then I think they both got hurt again. But yeah, people forget, like, the Pacers were sitting 3rd to 5th place for like the first third of the season before they were plagued with injuries. So hopefully history can rewrite itself and they can all stay healthy and we can really see what this year's Pacers team is about. Keep in mind though, they were doing that without the additions of Bruce Brown and Obi, but also keep in mind, some teams did get better but also got worse or kind of stayed the same. So the Pacers are no doubt one of the teams that improved, and I expected to show in the standings and on the floor this season. I know I got a lot of Pacers fans on this channel, especially being from Indiana myself. I know you guys really rep hard, so tell me how you guys like this year's Pacers team. What do you guys see as their ceiling this year going in? What seed do you see them falling in? And what corner of this Pacers team are you most excited to see? Because mine is definitely Haliburton and seeing him take another notch and seeing how Mathurin grew and expanded his game. And of course, I can't forget to mention the Obi lobs, but I mean, really just seeing this team in transition and how they gel on the floor, especially defensively, which it seems they already got it together in terms of chemistry, but go ahead and drop a comment down below and tell me what you guys think. I read and respond to all you guys, so go ahead and drop a comment. If you guys are new to the channel and like what you guys see, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button and join the family. Thank you guys for watching and sticking through the video. I hope you guys have a great day. It's been your boy Mike, and you can let that be.